My name is Shophie Quagraine. I'm 19 years old and I'm originally from Ghana and the UK, but I grew up in London. I found tennis tennis has always been a part of my life because my mother played and my sister played, but I started playing when I was 6 years old. And from that first day that I started playing and the first time I watched Serena Williams on TV, I knew that I wanted to take it seriously. I dropped out every other hobby I was trying for tennis, and tennis has taken me to so many places. I grew up in Southwest London, but it took me to going to boarding school outside of London on a scholarship. Then it took me to living in Barcelona, Spain when I was 16, and now it's brought me here to North Carolina in the United States. I'm Christian, so my values come from the characteristics of Jesus Christ, mainly to love everyone, to be humble, and yeah, to just glorify God through everything I do. It's a little basic, but Serena Williams is like the first person I watched play tennis on TV. And she really stood out to me because, you know, she kind of, a lot of people say like we kind of look alike just because of the hair. And seeing someone in tennis like who looked more like me, you know, with the ponytail. I always used to do my ponytail in tennis exactly like hers because I don't know, I wanted to be just like her. Now I want to be my own person, but I look up to her so much because she came obviously from a place of almost nothing, and she really built herself up so much. Her and her family, Venus Williams too. You know, without Venus, there wouldn't have been Serena. So both of them, and my big sister, when we used to play tennis together, you know, she's a lot older than me. We used to kind of imagine ourselves as Venus and Serena. She was Venus, I was Serena. So like that created a big part in my passion for tennis. And seeing her grow, seeing her do like amazing things for so long, you know, she like won tournaments whilst being pregnant and everything, and now she's a businesswoman. She's working with so many different in so many different ways, in so many different industries.
Stunning forehand. That's a huge point. In the context of this match, there is one massive point for Serena Williams. Best rally on the match, important rally.
And she's just like, she's more than a person on the court, you know? She reflects her whole personality off court, on the court. And I think that's part of the reason she plays so good, because obviously she works very hard and she has a lot of passion for the sport, but her personality on court is really like, you know, it's really like she's herself. And she shows that, and she don't care what anybody think. And I love that about her. So yeah, I definitely look up to her and I want to be. But I think more importantly, I just see a lot of myself in her. And I think that's because I watched her from such a young age. I've always like, I wouldn't say copy, but I always like try to, with my tennis, you know, try to do what she was doing, try to implement that kind of personality in life and in tennis. Well, my day usually starts at 6 a.m. every day because it helps me stay in the routine, waking up at the same time each day. I have like a very long morning routine with prayer, meditation, you know, making my bed, starting the day correctly. And then I go to the gym. I do like my morning mobility and prevention things before classes start. And then I pretty much have classes all day until lunch and some after lunch. And then practice is at 3:30 every day. This is on a day we don't have matches, of course. And then practice is like 2 hours. And then after that, I go to the physio usually because I always have some kind of problem with my body. And then stretching for about an hour. And yeah, then I go to shower and dinner, and I usually end the day doing homework or chilling with friends.
In reality, being an athlete looks more like this. You don't have time. You wake up, you stop the alarm, you grab your bag, you go to the gym, you cook something, you eat something. I said healthier. Good. You go to class, you take a test, you play, and you sleep. Just to do it over and over and over again. Wake up, eat, train, homework, class. 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 Wake up, eat, train, homework, class.
Tennis is like the what made me the person I am today. I think being an athlete teaches you more life skills than even physical skills, because especially in tennis, it's an individual sport. Most of the time you spend a lot of time alone. When you're on the court in the match, you're alone. You have to think for yourself. It's 75% mental, so it builds up a lot of mental toughness. And tennis has really helped me grow as a person, with my independence, with dealing with things through life. So I'm really passionate about it, not just because I love playing. It makes me feel free. It's something that I've done since I was 6 years old. So it's just like a big part of me. I think it's something that God placed that desire in my heart from a young age for a reason. And it connects to my family too. My big sister played, and she's the person who really kind of got me into the sport because I wanted to be like her. So yeah, it's just a big part of who I am, and every day it makes me stronger and better as a person. Obviously, when you're aiming to do something professionally and for a living, you put so much time and effort into every day. I mean, just alone training, waking up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., training every single day, your body's in pain, but you keep going every single day. That alone makes you mentally tougher. But at the same time, coming back from downtimes, challenges, like maybe when you've lost big matches, or you can have mental blocks or times in your career where you're struggling mentally, or your performance isn't quite up to what you can, your potential. But the decision to keep going and keep working every day and trying to be positive is it grows you so much.
So you want to go pro in
Definitely,
tennis?
definitely.
That's your goal?
Yes, amen. I don't know if this would be my worst game. I've had a lot of bad matches in the past, but I think one that impacted me the most, now when I look back at it, really wasn't that important. I think that's always the case in years' time. But it was when I was 16 and I was playing my first international tournament, and it was in my home country in Ghana. So I was really desperate to win the tournament or do really well, to it was the first time that a lot of my family was ever seeing me play. And in the quarterfinal, I was winning the match the whole time. And at the very end, I lost a bit of focus, and she came back and I ended up losing the match. And I was very, very upset. Even it kind of still hurts me today, I'm not gonna lie, because I was really determined to win that tournament. And I think that it left a big thing in me, because it was so painful at the time, because I had so much. I was thinking mostly about my family, and I was thinking about where I could have gone if I had won the tournament, the exposure and everything. And honestly, there was a lot of kind of pressure on me at the time. So I was just very upset. I was very disappointed in myself. But it also was a big turning point, because I did play good in that match. And I realized that so much of my performance comes from mental rather than physical or tactical skills. And from then was when I really started to focus on my mental side. It was a big transitioning time for me as well, because it was right before I moved to Spain for training. So when I got to Spain, I was able to make sure everything I focused on was also surrounded by focusing on my mental and everything. And that really helps me to perform a lot better, a lot more relaxed. And honestly, to like recognize that growing mentally is just as important or more important than growing your skills on the court. So, yeah.
Yeah, as an athlete myself, I think it's really easy to get caught up in a really bad performance.
Yeah.
But the mental side is really important to work on.
Yeah.
Because whenever you get a really bad game or you do really poorly on a match, you just grieve it for a day and then you just move on and keep improving. That's basically sports is
Yeah.
you lose more than you win. And that's basically the same as life.
Yeah.
You're going to lose because someone has to win.
Yeah.
And it cannot be you all the time.
Yeah.
So it's great to learn from it.
Definitely. Definitely. Honestly, I think pre-match stress is mainly dealt with in your like daily routine rather than just right before the match with like meditation, visualization. Some people do hypnotherapy, things like that. But I'd say like right before the game, my main thing is prayer. Like I pray to God and I just give him thanks that I'm even able to play the match, you know, like I'm just grateful. And I thank him for giving me the ability to play the match because I've been through so many injuries and so many times where I just pray to even just be able to play tennis. So my main thing is like going into the match with like a positive, grateful mindset and just wanting to like have fun on the court. It really like relaxes me. And when I pray to God, you know, it gives me peace in the mind. So my main thing is prayer. And when I step on the court, I'm just controlling my breath, breathing. I've like had many problems with getting nervous on court before. So I think for me, breathing is super important and just like trusting my game, trusting God through the match. I've been given a lot of advice, a lot of good advice, but I'm gonna go with one that I heard really recently because it really like stuck out to me. Just literally just a few days ago, my friend told me, if you want to stand out, you can't fit in. And he told me this because I was really like, you know, being in university in a new country and stuff, I was kind of conscious of like trying to fit in. But you know, as athletes, so many people are competing and only 1% make it all the way. Only 1% of athletes make it to the top. And you really have to think about what you're gonna do as a person that's gonna separate you from all the athletes and to make you be in that 1%. That's the most important thing. Like, if you want to make it to the top, you have to be different to everyone else. And that comes with sacrifices like, I don't know, not having as much of a social life or having to sacrifice certain things, having to move around a lot. But if you really want that, that's what you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to accept the fact that it's okay to be different because you are different. You know, athletes are different. So, yeah.